Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The ceremony will commence in 10 minutes. May I ask you at this time to ensure that you have left the front rows open for faculty and other members of the academic procession. Also, please check that your phones are set to quiet mode to avoid distractions. You may take photographs from your seat at any time, and further opportunities for photography will be available outside once the ceremony concludes. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the graduation ceremony for all those students who've graduated over the last academic year. We're joined today by 21 students in person and another 8 who are online or with us in other places around the world. It's very nice to have you all here with us and to celebrate their achievements. A couple of points before I go on. One is that if you are interested in the translation, the Japanese can be found on Channel 1 and the English on Channel 2. Secondly, I have to announce that if there is some emergency or something like that, I will raise the lights. I'll ask you to leave evenly orderly by all 4 of the main entrances. So it shouldn't happen, but if it does, all those lead to an exit. So, to the business of today. Please rise for the academic procession. First, let me thank our wonderful musicians. We have on flute, Kei Toguchi, on violin, Erina Yoshikawa, viola wa Megumu Tsutsui, and on cello, Nami Munemoto. Arigatou gozaimasu. So, OIST is located, as we know, in Okinawa. This is a region with its own long history and unique culture. So it's fitting that we begin the ceremony with a traditional Okinawan piece used to mark auspicious occasions, such as this event today. So Yotsudake is a song and dance for celebrating a joyous occasion. So let me first of all introduce the Sanshin players. The Sanshin music is by the OIST Sanshin group Chindami. We're a group of OIST students and staff. In the center, we are honored to have Miss Satsuki Agena from Ryukyu Classical Music Association. She's been teaching Sanshin for the OIST community for several years. And accompanying her are OIST members Nick Shannon, Mizuki Kato, Yoshiki Ochiai, Igor Stubenevics, Tomomi Okubo, Minai Uehara, Takako Tanaka, Yuki Kosano, and Maria Miller. And joining them are today's dancers, who are also all from OIST: Ami Chinen, Naoko Tokumoto, Aya Puka, Chiaki Chibana, Misato Matsuda, Kaori Yamashiro, and Lina Hashimoto. And to explain some more about the dance, I'd like to pass over to Chaki Chibana and Misato Matsuda.
Good afternoon, everyone.
昼夜ワッターがヒージーから提出にそるうちなぐち近くイヒがエーサチュン抜きやびら
We would like to introduce the performance today using Uchinaguchi, an indigenous Okinawan language.
オイストヌ学士の新刊茶卒業下流しでびる
First and foremost, congratulations to OIST students on your graduation.
昼夜ゆちだきるるうちなるうるい海かきやびん
To celebrate your achievements, we will perform Yuchidaki, a traditional Okinawan dance for celebration.
アンサーにゆちだきうちならち中ぬ卒業式ぐすうじさびら
The sound of Yuchidaki, or the castanet, is an expression of joy. I hope we can feel the joy together through the dance and music of Yuchidaki. Yuta sarugutu nige sabira.
Thank you very much to both our musicians from Chindamise and our dancers from OIST as well. So, and now I suppose it's the time to get to the importance of today's ceremony, which is to welcome our new graduates. They've all gathered here today in front of the assembled body of faculty and their peers to be awarded the diploma and the hood with its uniquely Okinawan red border, which marks your accession to the PhD degree and the faculty in a broader sense. So please join me in welcoming our new students to the stage. And you can come on down. Mo, go to the middle. So we counted several times, and then we counted again to make sure we got the right number of seats. Seems to have worked. So, to begin today's ceremony, please allow me to welcome to the stage the President of the Okinawa Institute of Science and Technology Graduate University, Albrecht Wagner.
Konnichiwa. Good afternoon. Dear distinguished guests, faculty, researchers, staff, students, parents, and families. Dear graduates, some years ago, when you arrived as students at OIST, you carried with you a suitcase full of personal belongings and a head full of expectations and hope, but certainly also of worries. You have made a decision to leave your familiar environment, your friends, your family, to explore the unknown, and hereby shown unusual courage, determination, and curiosity. I think these personal traits must have already been visible during the admission workshops, as OIST not only looks for the academically best, but also the most innovative minds. The German philosopher and excuse me if I use a German philosopher here, Georg Friedrich Lichtenberg was famous for his aphorisms. And one says, you have to do something new to see something new. And you have done something new. As working on a thesis, discovering something so far unknown. Today you can look back and state with pride that you have successfully crossed a major threshold in life and towards an exciting future. Your degree opens you many doors to academia, to business, and to all professions in which critical thinking, the unbiased analysis of facts, the sometimes heated discussion with colleagues about the meaning of results is the basis for success. You also faced exceptional challenges due to COVID and mastered them. But even without this, you probably have been astonished to see how long it took to reach the results you were striving for. But I can console you with yet another aphorism of Lichtenberg. He says, there is no greater obstacle to progress in science than the desire to feel the success too soon. Wherever you go, you will take with you not only your scientific knowledge, but also another experience, the knowledge and understanding of a life in a truly international environment, a deeper understanding of differences in cultures, feelings, principles. You have learned to respect your colleagues and friends from around the world. You might have noticed that abroad you feel freer than at home. We all have grown up with the rules and expectations of our home countries. Abroad, these rules are different, and they feel less binding. Wherever you go from here, never forget two things. Your appreciation and thankfulness to the Okinawan and Japanese people who have sponsored your education, as well as your life in Okinawa and at OIST. And second, that you have been a main actor in the incredible success experiment to build a truly international university in Japan called OIST, which managed in only 10 years to be among the top universities worldwide. This success was possible and due to four key principles: selection, trust, enabling, and monitoring. Selecting the best professors and the best students from around the world through a fair and rigorous process, thus competing with the major universities. Trust them by giving them the academic freedom to choose their own field, pursue their own burning questions which make their heart beat faster. And enable the best research by providing the necessary funds, as well as access to high-performance research infrastructure to pursue their goals, and by providing the students with the best possible education, I hope you agree with me, and including mentoring and introduction to soft skills. And finally, monitoring the progress and results critically, as trust does not come for free. OIST owes this to those who provide the money. OIST has installed a so-called unit review done by internationally acclaimed scientists who critically review each unit every 5 years, and similarly, students are mentored and monitored in their progress. In short, selection, trust, enabling, and monitoring form the basis of the success of OIST. I know only one other institution worldwide which follows very similar principles. This is the Institute for Science and Technology in Austria. It is as successful as OIST, so there must be something in this mixture. Being a graduate from OIST means that you are a graduate of a world-leading university. Therefore, your OIST degree will open you many doors and possibilities. It is interesting to note that 27% of non-Japanese students who graduated from OIST decided to remain and work in Japan. I think this is a strong message to those who fund our students and your studies. By investing in OIST, they have invested in the future of Japan. But even if you move to another country, you will take with you a deep understanding of Japan, its people, culture, and values, and enables you to build bridges in the future back to Japan. OIST has successfully trained by today 120 PhD students who graduated like today. As a way to engage with the other OIST graduates in the next step, OIST will be launching an alumni and network called Aluminati next week. This will allow you to build a network of excellent scientists worldwide, strengthen OIST's international reach, and develop the OIST identity you are so proud of. Join the network and enjoy it. Wherever you go, you will discover that the formative years you have spent at OIST have made you fit for whatever you will endeavor. For this future journey, I wish you all possible success. My wholehearted gratulation to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Wagner. And continuing the message that Dr. Wagner started, OIST, of course, is only possible because of the support from our generous sponsors in Okinawa and the Japanese government. So I'd like, and I'm honoured to call to the stage the Vice Governor Yoshimi Teruya as a representative of the Okinawa Prefectural Government for a message. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Yoshimi Teruya, Vice Governor of Okinawa Prefecture. And unfortunately, our Governor Tamaki is unable to attend the ceremony due to other engagements. So I will be reading his message on his behalf. Good afternoon, everyone, or in Okinawan language, Haisai Gusuyo Chuganabira. It is my great honor to address you on the occasion of the 5th graduation ceremony of the Okinawa Institute of Science and Technology. First of all, I'd like to express my heartfelt congratulations to the graduates who will receive their degrees. I would also like to extend my congratulations to the proud parents and to OIST faculty and staff members. As the pandemic phase of the rampant coronavirus is finally beginning to subside, life is returning to normal everywhere you look. To those of you graduating today, the majority of your time at OIST was spent under the pandemic, and you experienced unusual difficulties in your academic and daily life. I'd like to express my deepest respect to you for working so hard on your research and successfully completing your PhD program despite all the challenges. You have come to Okinawa from different backgrounds and from all over the world to expand your knowledge here at OIST. While immersing yourselves in science in a privileged research environment, I am sure that your exposure to Okinawa's nature and culture has also been a source of inspiration. We hope that your experiences in Okinawa, including your interactions with the local people, will be a cornerstone of your life. Last year, OIST professor Svante Pääbo was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine. This was not only a great honor for OIST, but also a great inspiration to the people of Okinawa, giving us dreams and hopes. We are very proud to have one world-renowned scientist close at hand and his university of choice here in Okinawa. Today, the world is facing numerous challenges due to unforeseen circumstances. Under these circumstances, the power of science and technology is expected more than ever to contribute to world peace and sustainable development. As you leave OIST and embark on your own journeys, I hope that you will remember what you have gained from your encounters with colleagues from different backgrounds at OIST and contribute to world peace and sustainable development. I hope that sometimes you will recall the days you spent at OIST and in Okinawa, and that you will come back here again. We always welcome you back to Okinawa. I am confident that you will continue to grow, innovate, and succeed on the new stage of your careers. In conclusion, I'd like to offer my best wishes to all the graduates as they embark on their new journeys, and I wish all those present good health and prosperity. Thank you. May 19, 2023, Governor of Okinawa Prefecture, Denny Tamaki. Congratulations.
ありがとうございます。Thank you for those kind words and your continued support. Also, we acknowledge and appreciate the continued support of the Cabinet Affairs Office. Today, we are pleased to hear from their representative, Vice Minister Hanako Jimi.
Dear excellent graduates, distinguished colleagues and guests, this is Hanako Jimi. Good afternoon. I wish I could be there with you, but I needed to attend the parliamentary session today, so please allow me to participate in the video. As a representative of the government of Japan, I am honored to deliver my speech to your commitment from one of the finest research universities in the world. First of all, let me express my congratulations to all of you, the 29 outstanding talents from 18 countries and areas across the globe. Today, I would like to share my impression on OIST and a little tips on a bright future. I visited OIST first time soon after the university was established. I had an honor to be attended by Omi Koji sensei on my first visit. He advocated the foundation of OIST as the Minister for Okinawa and Science and Technology Policy. I was overwhelmed by the landscape of university that I had never seen before in such a beautiful scenery. But however, at the same time, I was also moved by Omi Sensei's strong desire and passion to create the global research university in Okinawa that will be known as the best in the world. Today, I am pleased to discover the OIST developments in many ways. As you know, Professor Svante Pääbo was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physiology and Medicine last year. It was a global showcase of excellent research quality of OIST. At the same time, 37 startups have been launched with the OIST support. Some of them are expected to boost the local economy. OIST has made considerable achievements over the first decades, both in the basic research and the business collaboration, and shown the great presence both globally and locally. What makes OIST different from other universities? In my understanding, the answer is your continuous efforts to secure the quality of research. The excellent researchers are given scientific freedom with well-funded resources in OIST. On the other hand, the quality of results are strictly verified to carry on the research for the next term. This process is a right direction to ensure the global reputation of the university that magnets excellent researchers and students from the world again. I figured out this is what is happening in OIST, but has never happened in other universities in Japan. And this is the right story offered as a banner of the best in the world. I am impressed OIST is now becoming the best in the world. And all of you are qualified to be a permanent member of the best in the world from now on. Again, I must praise your completion of PhD studies. You have been affected by the COVID pandemic throughout your studies. It must have been a very stressful time for you, but you have overcome this unprecedented challenge to complete your research. The pandemic gave us many lessons. Let me tell you a small case of myself. I worked as a medical doctor before elected as a member of the House of Councillors. And I was a permanently Vice Minister for Health, Labor and Welfare, converting health and medical policies when Japan faced the beginning stage of pandemic. A cruise ship docked at Yokohama was the first large-scale COVID cluster in Japan. I got inside the ship and commanded the on-site quarantine operation of more than 3,700 passengers. This operation was not only the case for the cruise ship, but implemented many lessons that deserved full scientific analysis on virus transmissions and effective responses. Over the following 9 months, I dedicated myself to protect the people and the country from the threats of unknown virus. For the nation, the science and the technology is a major driver of its economic vitality and innovations. However, as a medical doctor and throughout my experience of tackling the pandemic as a government official, I became aware of the fact that the public health, medical, and other social services also strongly depended on the capacity of science and technology. The science and technology has become a core discipline for the governments. To analyze what the pandemic and virus are and make policies in order to protect people's health from the great threats. I must say, the timing of your commencement is a decisive moment in the human history. This is a moment in which the people rediscover the possibility of science and technology as a result of facing the pandemic. At this historical moment, you are now embarking on the blue ocean of science and technology. I am confident you will unleash your potentials without any restrictions on the academic disciplines and a small concept of nations and areas. Your stage is across the globe, and your possibility is beyond our expectations. At the same time, I'd like to express small tips on your bright future. First, even after leaving Okinawa, I would like you to keep in your mind what all you have done here means to the Okinawan people. They earnestly expected OIST to play a leading role in creating the innovative island with the robust economy. They are proud of the fact that there is OIST in their home and you have learned here. All things you have done for the 5 years come back to you and also to the people living in this island. Second, I would like you to develop your fields across the world with the Okinawan spirit. We have an iconic word to express the Okinawan spirit that has been traditional over the centuries from the time of Ryukyu dynasty. The word is Bankoku Shinryo, that stands for the bridge of nations. The Okinawan people made their living by maritime trade that bridged Japan, China, and other Asian countries. The spirit of Bankoku Shinryo then created the Okinawa Valley of diversity and willingness to take an uncharted territory. I would like you to embrace this Okinawan spirit even at the global stage and open up a new discipline and value on natural science. And I hope you to come back to Okinawa someday. The Okinawan climate is sometimes harsh. However, it also shows us beautiful sunshine, rainforests, and tropical oceans. It is just like what you will express in the future. Don't forget, we are always on your side, and you are our pride. Congratulations to all of you. See you in Okinawa next time. Thank you for your attention.
Vice Minister Hanako Jimmy, thank you for your message and for your continued support. I would like to take this opportunity to present some supporting messages from people who could not be with us today but have sent telegrams. We have received quite a few, but I'll just read a couple. First, from Mr. Kosaburo Nishime, who is a member of the House of Representatives and a former Minister of State for Okinawa and Northern Affairs in the Cabinet Office. I sincerely congratulate you on the occasion of the 2023 OIST Doctoral Degree Conferment Ceremony. The students at OIST are the brain of the university that provides knowledge with a frontier spirit. The world is waiting for you. Thank you. And the second message is from Ms. Aiko Shimajiri, who's a member of the House of Representatives and also former Minister of State for Okinawa and Northern Affairs in the Cabinet Office. And she says, I extend my warmest congratulations to you all on achieving your doctoral degree and on your graduation today. I would also like to express my respect and appreciation to your families who have been there to support you for your growth over the years leading up to this day. OIST was established with the aim to contribute to science and technology worldwide and to invite outstanding researchers from Japan and abroad to conduct high-quality research, to form a world-class research centre, developing into an intellectual cluster that will drive Okinawa's technology transfer and industrial innovation. I hope each of you who received your degree today will play an active role with confidence in paving the way for a better future for the world. And I'd like to conclude by congratulating each of you again for earning your degree, and I wish you all the best for your continued success in the future. We have received many more, but I would, at this probably just better to read just their names. Dr. Karen Makishima, member of the House of Representatives, former Minister of State for Regulatory Reform in the Cabinet Office. Kuniko Inoguchi, member of the House of Councillors, former Minister of State for Gender Equality and Social Affairs. Mr. Miyazaki Masahisa, Special Advisor to the Secretary General and member of the House of Representatives. Mr. Kiyoshi Ejima, member of the House of Councillors. Dr. Toshiharu Furukawa, member of the House of Councillors. And Mr. Shigeru Fukui, President and CEO of the Gojinsha Group. So, amongst others, these are some of the many congratulatory letters that have been sent to you to mark this auspicious occasion. So thank you all for your messages of support. And now it's my pleasure to turn to the commencement address, which is an important part of any graduation ceremony. This is a message of recognition, of encouragement, and of welcome to our new graduates. So I'd like to call on the President, Albrecht Wagner, to introduce our honoured guest and speaker today. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and my special privilege to introduce to you today as commencement speaker, as you just heard, Professor Karin Markides, former president of a famous Swedish university, Chalmers University, and former president of the American University in Armenia with seat in Yerevan. She's a chemist, and here I stop because she will introduce herself. So please give a very warm welcome to Karin Markides, who will take over on the 1st of June the steering wheel of OIST. Please.
President Wagner, thank you for this kind introduction, and thank you also, Parliamentary Vice Minister Jimmy, for your inspirational message, and also Vice Governor Teruya for your message. I also want to say that I'm very, very happy here to address this in front of Mayor Nagahama, members of the Board of Governors and Board of Councillors, esteemed faculty and staff, proud parents and friends, and especially you 29 OIST graduates who have reached this well-earned milestone. I am excited to stand here in front of you today, and it brings actually back memories how I already on graduation day had packed my bags, and I was going to leave Sweden the next day for international experience and shaping my own academic career. But you have got your international and diversity experience already during your graduate school, and this is a gift for your future. I feel honored today also to be the one to give you some guiding thoughts for your career and that you have now after graduation. But let me start with my research area. It is analytical chemistry, a discipline that integrates several disciplines with the aim to get continuous better understanding on a molecular level. It is a systems discipline at having a focus on accurate knowledge of both known and unknown molecules of interest. But what is really interesting about analytical chemistry is that you are working in the intersection of disciplines. These intersections have unexplored opportunities waiting to be captured. This fascinated me so much that I started to collaborate with other disciplines, with core facilities and in industries already during my PhD studies. And I can tell you that was not the norm in Sweden at the time. But it has been the most valuable thing that I did in my life. For my postdoc then, I selected a world-leading group that also broadened my views to include innovation. The cross-disciplinary and cross-stakeholder culture at Brigham Young University gave me true understanding how collaboration can be performed to be rewarding in both academia and in industry. Dear graduates, we are all here today to celebrate your conferment, where you symbolically will climb the sacred mountain Parnassus in Greece. And Parnassus was the mountain of the Greek gods. From the moment you pass the summit, this afternoon, I guess, symbolically, you are endowed with the right to be an untouchable knowledge provider. Today is a momentous occasion, and I am curious what thoughts of joy, responsibility, and freedom that goes through your mind this day. From now on, you will always teach and lead in different ways, using the knowledge perspective that you earned and for the people and environments that you choose. At OIST, you had the opportunity to design your unique perspective, interact across disciplines and geographies, and engage in both local, global outreach. The world needs leaders like you, more than ever before. The world has, of course, always transformed through new realities. And we know that the human brain have the possibility to make this transformation evolutionary, sustainable, and even resilient. If we learn and practice lateral thinking of combining the logic and the imagination. I think that OIST might be a unique hub for this survival kit. The trick is to be able to observe and to listen to other perspectives than your own. This is the base of trust. And it will open your mind to explore how problems can be viewed from unusual angles and find solutions that are sustainable. Dear graduates, you have the ability to become systems leaders in private, public, and in academic environments. So, what is different from when I graduated? And this is that science and technology are getting increasingly attention based on competition between nations in a more volatile society. Fortunate, however, is that the interest for collaboration is growing at the same time. And this is our chance. In 2004, my research group at Uppsala University in Sweden had developed to be a vibrant academic environment. I was frustrated, however, because research funding did not really support basic research collaboration, to a large extent at least, and it favored projects with expected outcome. So what I did, I wanted to learn more, and I then followed my internal drive to explore the role and responsibility of universities needed to take in the making of sustainable solutions. Sustainable solutions that at the same time can become competitive solutions for society. I then became president and CEO of Chalmers University of Technology, which is a private and public university. And this gave me the possibility to develop and test incentives, working procedures, and mindset shift processes. I used enhanced visibility, attraction, and trust building in different ways in local, national, and international level, and tested the university's role by examples. So let me start to give you an early example. We changed the education in architecture and built environment to include system thinking and developmental leadership. The students loved it, and they got great jobs after graduation. But the architectural firm leaders, they called me up. They were very upset that our students were too independent. And in addition, our alumni were also upset that their transformative thinking was not wanted in their working place. With this example, I learned that we had to prepare society for our students and build incentives for PI-controlled research collaboration where stakeholders, leaders, and students also are included. This model was first tested in 2008 and started with a trust-building process, followed by a working process based on a project portfolio, where we connected the university with stakeholders on 3 levels. Well, let me give you an example. This example is an incineration plant, an industrial plant for waste combustion. And by changing the traditional quartz sand bed that was used in this process to include a compound called ilmenite, an oxygen carrier making wonders for waste combustion in existing industrial settings. well, it is an iron titanium oxide that through ion diffusion of oxidized anions actually, to the combustion process. And this was a very important trick, simple as such, but it was based on basic science properties of this ilmenite studied at Chalmers for, I think, 20, 30 years, without application in interest. It was a basic science studies. The mindset shift and positive full-scale testing could anyway happen in just a few months, based on trust that we had built up between the PIs and the CEO of the company. This was, by the way, Albrecht, a German company. My role was to set up the multi-coupled collaboration and to keep it open with publication and patents instead of what the company wanted to do, trade secrets. The chemical looping combustion was published in 2008, and this sustainable process resulted in enormous interest over the whole world. Chalmers now has over 10 long-term transformative collaborations using this model. And there is a trend actually favoring this type of collaboration. I hope it is a trend. I heard recently a study in Scandinavia showing that basic research in industries almost doubled over the last 5 years and is enhancing at a faster rate than applied research in industries. I don't know if this is true in Japan, but it's certainly true in Northern Europe, and I think it is a trend. If so, and if you go to industry, please help to enhance this trend. By embracing creative public-private university partnership, a university can preferably take a leading role in the trust-building process with full inclusion of diverse stakeholders. By this approach, we actually built an open test arena called ASTA Zero, and it was realized for electrified autonomous transport solution. ASTA Zero is used today by competitive car and truck companies in the world, as well as innovative university research projects and startups, fostering joint solutions for safety and sustainable standards. Private, public, and academic environments also need entrepreneurial leaders. The entrepreneurial phase requires both excellent innovation ideas and excellence in developmental leadership. At Chalmers, the graduate students were encouraged to explore the personal preferences and take on innovations originating in forefront collaboration and research environments. This has resulted in many competitive, sustainable companies. And I also give you now my last example. The students from engineering and data science, they found jobs after graduation actually in leading companies like Tesla, Volvo, Spotify, Ericsson, and some game company that I don't remember the name of. And they had great careers. After a few years, they met as alumni. And I know because I was part of that meeting. And there they decided to use their trust-building skills in digital transformation of good transportation, including electrification and autonomy. They thought that Tesla, Volvo, Spotify, and Ericsson and the game company were not really transformative enough. They created Einride, and Einride is today one of the most cited innovative startups in the world, made by graduate students after 10 years after graduation. Dear graduates, please remember to meet up with your alumni. Dear US graduates of 2023, congratulations. You are now knowledge providers and change makers. You perform best when you are true to yourself, so find out more about your personal preferences. Continue to observe and talk with people that are different from you and mobilize the transformative power you find in the intersection between knowledge areas. The world needs you, and I wish you all the best in your future endeavor. Finally, there are many people that helped you to reach this milestone, and I'm sure you remember to thank them all. And I want to thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you for those wise words and for your encouragement of our graduates. At this point, I think I might be able to once again thank the Vice Minister, Teruya-san, for his kind words today and to acknowledge the government's continued generous support of the OIST mission. Thank you, Mr. Teruya-san. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time finally to turn to our recent graduates. They are the stars of today's show, so please join with me in congratulating them as they receive their PhD diploma and their hood in acknowledgement of their tremendous achievements. Of course, the last few years have been particularly difficult for all of us, and for these students no less. So well done all. So from here, I will call on each student to come to centre stage, where the degree will be awarded by the President and the hood will be placed by the Dean of the Graduate School, Thomas Bush. So I now call on Thomas Bush to preside over the awards and to give us some context to their achievements. Professor Bush.
Following the example that my predecessor set last year, let me start with my dear graduates and dear graduates only. You can check your phones for a while if you want. Before we move on to award you your well-earned degrees, I just wanted to take a minute to thank you for having spent some of your most creative and productive years here at OIST with us. When you applied at OIST more than 5 years ago, this university was only about half its size. You made your decision to come here based on opportunities and promises rather than on historical evidence and reputation. You bet on the future of OIST. Like a true scientist, you took a risk and you tried something new. This means that your PhD journey was just like your scientific journey, an expedition into something partially unknown that would be hard to navigate sometimes, but an expedition that would also allow you to be proactive and to give you the freedom to do what you would think would be best. You tried new things, you found new ways of doing them, and you succeeded. You created knowledge and understanding that was not here before. We are very honored that you took a chance on us and the opportunities that OIST has to offer. We are proud of everything you've achieved, and we've immensely enjoyed working and doing science with you. Your success is crucial for advancing our knowledge in the world. But it's an integral part also of the success of OIST and of our full community here. Thank you very much for being part of OIST's story. We will be eagerly watching whatever is next for you. Congratulations again, and well done.
And I'd now also like to invite the President to the centre of stage to present the degrees. And we will begin with our graduates pretty much in order of graduation. For those students who are not actually here, the degree will be accepted on their behalf by the Dean. So the first student today is Makoto Schreiber. Makoto was a student in Matthias Wolff unit, and I'm not sure what the topic of his PhD was, but I'm fairly certain it was something to do with electron microscopy. So, congratulations, Makoto. And now for each of the students, we will have a brief message in video form presented by the supervisor.
Dear Makoto, it gives me great pleasure to address you today to celebrate your official PhD graduation. I can clearly remember the day when you first took my course in electron microscopy. You stood out among your peers in asking questions which I wasn't immediately prepared to answer. Throughout the course, you showed great interest, which ultimately led to your joining my unit as my first PhD student. I was very lucky indeed. Despite long days and years of hard work, you never lost your enthusiasm and your pleasant character. In fact, it seemed that you couldn't get enough of the science you had chosen. You went off to attend the Lindau Nobel meetings, and you spent time in Vienna in a hardcore materialist science lab. You were always very independent. You secured your own JSPS scholarship. During the review process of your paper on charging effects, you had this ingenious observation that there was a slight curvature in the potentials that you had studied. This led ultimately to your idea of proposing a novel concept of lensing charged particles by means of the magnetic vector potential in the absence of an electromagnetic field. This is essentially a variation on a quantum effect known as the Aharonov-Bohm effect. At this point, the roles of the supervisor and the student became reversed, and I started learning from you. Our paper has been scrutinized relentlessly by a particularly tough reviewer at the journal Nature for an entire year, and it is still not published as of today, unfortunately. But I'm confident that it will find a good place soon. Throughout all of this, I have become a fan of yours, since I have personally witnessed how you dealt with some of the most difficult referees I have known. I have the greatest respect for you and great hopes for your career, which you have already started as a postdoc at the University of Alberta. You have amazing quantitative skills, a sharp intellect, and the persistence to overcome the most challenging problems. All of these are the hallmarks of a successful scientist. I'm very proud of you, and I'm grateful that I could share the beginning of your promising career with you. I wish you all the best for the brilliant future that lies ahead of you.
Awesome. All right, our next awardee is Ratnesh Kumar Gupta. He was a student of Professor Sheila McCormack. He studied evanescent field-mediated interactions of cold rubidium atoms with optical nanofiber-guided light. He's not with us today. The award has been accepted on his behalf by the Dean of the Graduate School, but Sheila was able to give us a message.
Ratnesh Kumar Gupta joined OIST's PhD program in September 2015, having completed a BSc, MSc in ICE Kolkata, India, shortly beforehand. A true scholar, Ratnesh's PhD topic was on the evanescent field-mediated interactions of cold rubidium atoms with optical nanofiber-guided light. This work led to 5 publications spanning atomic physics and machine learning. After his PhD, Ratnesh immediately moved to the University of Stuttgart in Germany, where he's now working in the group of Professor Tilman Pfau on quantum simulators using cold atoms. Unfortunately, he can't be at OIST today to celebrate due to visa complications, but we wish him all the best in his academic career. Congratulations, Dr. Gupta. It was a great pleasure working with you for the last number of years.
The next student today also deserves a microphone. He's Agnish Barua. Dr. Barua studied under, first of all, Professor Mikiev, but later Professor Vincent Laudet, and he studied the evolutionary genetics of snake venoms. I have a message from Professor Laudet.
Agnesh, you were a wonderful gift I received when I arrived at OIST. You were a PhD student in another unit, was leader left OIST, and where you had done a splendid job on the origin of snake venom. You had 18 months to go, and the grad school asked me if I could take you on. I accepted, and it was 18 months of joy. You worked a lot, you brought a lot to the team, you interacted with everyone, and most of all, you did a very nice job on sea anemone and symbiosis. So now you are in postdocs in Switzerland, and I still have the pleasure of collaborating with you in a common project. You are really an excellent scientist, Agnes, full of imagination, full of rigor, and full of strength. You will go far. So congratulations for this PhD thesis, a big, big step. One of the finest PhD theses I have seen in my career. So all the best, my friend.
Next, calling on Dr. Shan Zhou, who worked with Denis Konstantinov. Shan's thesis was on detection of Rydberg states of electrons on superfluid helium confined in microchannel devices. And there will be a message as well. I'm sure. Somewhere.
On this day, I would like to congratulate Shan on all the scientific accomplishments she has done during 5 years in OIST. I remember how she first came to our group driven by a desire to learn more about quantum physics and see how it works in real life. However, soon she realized that experimental physics is all about hard work in the lab, like doing soldering and plumbing for setting up an experiment, spending long hours in the clean room doing microfabrication, coming to the lab in weekends to check how the refrigerator works, then finding out the experimental does not work and starting all over again. This is a hard way we all learn about experimental physics. Only the prospect of accomplishing our goal one day drives us through it. Some people look for an easy way out, but not Shan. Indeed, she accomplished an amazing work on the quantum state detection of electrons of superfluid helium, a hard experimental work she has done by herself, and the work that's laid foundation for the research direction in our group for years to come towards the goal of building a scalable quantum computer. I'm glad to know that Shan exited this PhD program as a very accomplished scientist, possessing many experimental skills and theoretical tools under her belt, ready to pursue any career path she chooses. Just in 2 weeks after graduation, she started a new job in Intel, trying herself in the field of industrial research. But I also see her very well pursuing an academic career in the future, one day becoming professor and leading her own research group. Shan, regardless of the career path you decide to choose, I would like you to know that I'm always happy to support you, both as your former advisor and as your friend.
Next, from the laboratory of Professor Elliot Fried is Dr. Alexandru Mihai. He had a very interesting project on soap film mediated 3D self-assembly. And those little twisty things built themselves out of nothing. Very good and very inventive work. Thank you, Alexandru.
Alex arrived at OIST with a superb background in applied mathematics. From the outset, he demonstrated an insatiable curiosity and an unwavering determination to expand his knowledge. During his years at OIST, Alex transformed into a meticulous and highly innovative experimentalist. In particular, his discovery of unprecedented strategies for creating self-assembled three-dimensional structures from flat centimeter-scale tiles is a testament to his ingenuity. Alex's achievements are a tribute not only to his innate abilities, but also to the exceptional opportunities provided to graduate students at OIST. I extend warmest congratulations to Alex on his outstanding achievements and offer best wishes for his future endeavors.
And next we have another student from the same unit, Dmitry Koldaev. He worked on mathematical modeling of unstretchable elastic ribbons.
During his years at OIST, Dmitry worked closely with staff scientist Hannes Schunke on a code for constructing and visualizing solutions to a challenging problem for finding the shapes of closed ribbons made from materials like everyday office paper. The code relies on the new treatment of constraints that was Dmitry's contribution alone, although the stability of the solutions obtained remains uncertain. The work reveals important open questions. Dmitry's collaboration with Hannes was key to his success and is also a testament to the support and mentorship that Hannes provided. Congratulations to Dmitry and best wishes in the future.
Next, we have our 100th graduate. That is indeed a milestone. It's only been 10 short years, really, and 100 graduates is great. And that lucky person is Tim Keller. Tim Keller worked with Professor Thomas Busch, and he worked in superfluid and insulating states in interacting quantum gases.
Let me introduce Dr. Tim Keller to you. Over the last 5 years, Tim worked hard on quantum heat engines and on new quantum many-body phases, which are two forefront areas of research in quantum mechanics at the moment. Contributing 2 original ideas to these areas is an outstanding achievement, which has not only resulted in a number of high-impact publications, but was also recognized by JSPS with a fellowship. Even more, Tim's work have and are inspiring experimental groups in Europe, Israel, and the US. Conceiving and calculating something that only a few years later is going to be observed in a lab is a fantastic validation of one's work, and it is very impressive that Tim will soon have this happen to him twice. Tim, sincere congratulations on your outstanding work, and we are looking forward to following your future achievements. Unglaublich gut.
Dr. Sahil Acharya, working with Professor Kusumi. You can read the full title of his thesis in the program. I won't bore you with it all, but it was about the generation of neuronal excitatory synapses.
Congratulations, Sahil, on your graduation. You're a memorable student for me because you are my first student who received PhD at OIST in my lab. But of course, this is not the only reason that you're a memorable student for me. More than anything else, your PhD work is groundbreaking. You unequivocally shows that the previously inconspicuous molecule in the synapse called SYNGAP plays a pivotal role in the formation and regulation of synapses due to its capability of undergoing liquid-liquid phase separation that's sub-micromolar concentrations. So, Sahil, I wish you good luck in your research as a technology pioneering fellow from this fiscal year. And congratulations again.
Next is Takeshi Tabuchi. He's not with us, but he's on Zoom, so hi, hello. And his award will be accepted on his behalf by the Dean. So he worked with Professor Yokobayashi, and he looked at cell-free riboswitches for chemical communication between microdroplets.
Takeshi first came to OIST in November 2014 as an intern for another unit. There, he impressed his PI so much that he was hired as a technician. Later, he decided to pursue PhD at OIST, and luckily for me, he decided to stay in my group to do a great work in the new field of cell-free synthetic biology, which has already attracted new collaborators to my group. In total, he spent about 8 years at OIST, so I think a lot of people in the OIST community know Takeshi in one way or another. I was also fortunate to have interacted with Takeshi outside the lab. He turns out to be a great soccer player, and we already miss him on the field. So my congratulations to Takeshi, and it was my great pleasure having you as a member of my unit.
One video feed to another through this room. Amazing. I would next like to call on Dong-Chi Han. Dong-Chi Han was working with Professor Jun Tani. Some long title to do with deep reinforcement learning in stochastic recurrent neural networks.
Hi Dong, how are you doing? Now you are working at Microsoft Research at Shanghai as a researcher, and I imagine that you are getting much higher salary than mine. Okay. So anyway, today I very much congratulate you for your graduation with a quite successful PhD study at OIST. Indeed, you did a great job. You showed me that a robot can develop hierarchical information processing through continuous reinforcement learning. It is amazing since such achievement was my long-time dream, and the dream came true by you now. I really enjoyed working with you for 5 years. Thank you very much, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing another big things coming from you.
Our next awardee is Dr. Alia Mari Purser. Alia was a student with Professor Izumi Fukunaga, and she looked at designing a tractable behavioral paradigm for investigating olfactory figure-ground separation.
Alia's PhD work was to understand how mice perceive olfactory mixtures. For the project, she devised a variety of quantitative behavioral paradigms to study this, for which her great intuition and creativity really came through. Alia also became an integral member of our unit. My colleagues regard her as a dream colleague. Alia is hardworking, who keeps on going in the face of obstacles on the way, but still always offering to help out others, especially junior colleagues in the lab. She's exceptionally kind, likable, funny, and also a fantastic source of restaurant tips. Congratulations, Alia, from all of us, and all the best for your next step of the career.
Next, we would like to award Dr. Sofia Kosar. Most of us know her as Sonia. She was a student with Professor Dunny, and she was looking at nanoscale defects in perovskite films that are potentially used for photovoltaics.
Sonia was a pleasure to have as a graduate student. She was independent, organized, and fiercely passionate about her work on clean energy. Right away in the group, she made an important contribution to a Nature manuscript. For her main PhD work, Sonia uncovered important new information about defects in perovskites, which she published in an energy and environmental science. Finally, she made another contribution to a Nature article, for which she was offered first equal authorship, but she declined because she hadn't met her own standards of first authorship. Sonia, we miss you very much at FSU. We also miss the delicious falafel you used to make and the secret party venues that you got us into after hours. We wish you best for your postdoc at KAUST, and we hope that you will continue to visit us here in your time. Bye.
Another student who can't be with us today is Christine Guzman, but she's with us on Zoom. So, hi Christine. She worked with Professor Watanabe, and she was looking at the role of neurexins in early evolution of the nervous system.
I'm very pleased to congratulate Christine Guzman. She did a very good job in her PhD project. One of them was to clarify the genetic feature of ancestral neurons, and another project was to understand evolutionary origins of neuronal synapses. It was very difficult and time-consuming, but she made great discoveries about it. She has published one paper on nature, ecology, and evolution, and another paper will be submitted very soon. Christine has started her postdoc job in Switzerland already, and I'm very much looking forward to her new adventure. Congratulations.
Mizuki Kato, a student with Dr. Deshuta. She looked at modeling the migration of particular cells in the cerebellum during development.
I want to congratulate Mizuki Kato on the completion and defense of her thesis last autumn. When Mizuki joined my unit in 2017, she took the courageous decision to start working on a new project, the modeling of early cerebellar development, including the massive migration of granule cells and the growth of Purkinje cell dendritic trees. This project turned out to be quite challenging, not the least because she had to adapt to 3 major software revisions. But Mizuki persisted, finished the model, and got some nice results. Again, congratulations, Mizuki, and good luck with your new job as postdoc at the National Taiwan University.
Next, we have a brace of students from Amy Shen's unit. First is Ainash Garufalina. Ainash looked at microfluidics devices using nanoscale pillars to look at protein-protein interactions.
Dear Ainash and Santo, big congratulations to both of you reaching this significant milestone. It has been such a pleasure working with you in the past 5 years and watching you grow as true scholars. You have overcome so many obstacles during the pandemic, and your achievement is a true testament to your creativity, hard work, and dedication. Ainash, you have a chemistry degree before you joined OIST. During the first month of your out-of-field rotation in our unit, I noticed how disturbed you were with inconsistent font size and color from a group meeting presentation. So this trait convinced me immediately that you will be a great researcher. For your thesis, You developed novel optical biosensors for disease diagnosis by using nanofabrication and plasmonic techniques. I'm very confident you will continue to make significant contributions in the field.
Congratulations. And next, another student from the same unit, Santo Chan. Santo worked on some pretty interesting stuff on rheologically complex liquid bridges. So a lot of applications in food processing, materials handling.
Santo, your thesis research revealed the fundamental mechanisms that govern the edge fracture. And you also developed strategies to control and mitigate edge fracture in materials, which has many important applications in a wide range of industry, including aerospace and manufacturing. And Santo, you received your bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering, which is a perfect fit to our unit expertise. But you came to OIST to become a neuroscientist. You warned me at the very beginning that our unit would be your backup plan. I was not hurt, and I still don't know why you ended up in our unit, but I'm very happy about the outcome. So again, best wishes to both of you for your future endeavors.
I would next like to call on Maki Kohata Thomas. Maki was a student of Professor Satoshi Mitarai, and she worked on the dispersal and mechanisms of dispersal of mangrove propagules.
I'm at the Bacon Bar Japan in Burma City that the Maki's family is running. Maki studied Okinawa mangroves. She investigated how far mangrove propagules can be transported by integrating physical oceanography, population genetics, and network theory. Maki cares a lot about marine conservation. She's the co-founder of the OIST Eco Club, and she led the OIST Blue Economy Challenge and many other things related to SDGs. You may not be a service provider, but she never gave up.
I think a lot of things in that unit are done that way. So next we have, where am I now on my notes? Another person who's online, Manana Kutsia. Manana Kutsia was a student with Professor Masai, and she looked at quiescent radial glia in the zebrafish adult brain and how they can regenerate. And
Manana, congratulations on your PhD awards. Manana originally graduated from the medical school in her home country, Georgia, so she is motivated to contribution to the medical science, especially therapy establishment of brain injury. In the thesis project, she studied regeneration mechanism in response to the brain injury using zebrafish as animal model. Zebrafish has strong regenerative activity to repair the tissue damage. Thus, the Manana focused on neural stem cells. She found the novel intermediate states of the neural stem cells, which promote regeneration program from their quiescent state to the proliferative states. Furthermore, brain resident immune cells, microglia, are required for this stem cell transition process. These findings provide an important insight on regenerative medicine. Morana currently works as a postdoctoral researcher in the same topics in the United Kingdom. I believe that she will develop her professional career in the future and look forward to seeing her future research advance. Thank you for your attention.
The next student is in person. This is Kim Remond. She worked with Professor Nick Shannon and she looked at spin 1 magnets and their excitations. Congratulations.
After that, I'm stumped. How do you describe Kim? Kim came to Okinawa from Switzerland as a student intern, made us ice cream, and stuck around to do a PhD. She was president of the OIST Martial Arts Club and trained in karate with world champions. She founded the OIST Street Dance Club and seemed to participate in every dance event held in OIST. She ate tons of vegetables and chocolate. She hosted cats which caused various degrees of mischief. She ran a marathon on a broken foot and acknowledges that the second half of the race did hurt. She fought off an attack from a wild boar with her bare hands. Well, mostly her feet. When the pandemic came, she made dance videos to inform us about social distancing. Oh, and she did some science. Kim invented a new way of describing magnets with spin 1 moments and wrote a 63-page paper about it containing over 400 equations. She also described these results in a 250-page PhD thesis, which her examiners described as an excellent work on a very timely topic with results which will arouse international attention. How do you describe Kim? Did I mention that she made us ice cream?
The next student is Lewis Rooks. He was mostly a student under Professor Thomas Bush, but he was also co-supervised by Sheila McCormack. And he worked on wave propagation and light matter interactions in optical nanofibers and discrete media.
Let me introduce Dr. Lewis Rooks to you. Even though he was educated as a pure mathematician in the UK, Lewis decided to increase the strength of his 15 daily cups of tea and take on a PhD topic in the field of nano-optics. Combining his mathematical strength with complicated physics problems proved highly successful, and Lewis carried out calculations that would be considered too hard by many people in his field. His work at OIST resulted in 6 peer-reviewed publications, with more still on the way. However, and maybe even more impressively, Lewis also managed to get a good overview of the experimental work carried out in his chosen area and regularly worked with the experimental in-house nano-opticians at OIST. He has clearly become a well-rounded scientist doing his PhD, who in his next step will help NTT to revolutionize the way we all communicate. Lewis, congratulations on your exceptional PhD work. We are all looking forward to seeing what other hard problems you will take on successfully in the future.
Our next awardee is Mohammed Atwa. He worked with Professor Okada in the Quantum Materials Science Unit, and he was looking at magnetotransport properties in the layered magnetic semimetal chromium 1 plus delta tellurium 2. Or maybe that's telluride. It's been a while since my chemistry.
Congratulations, Mo. You are my first graduate. It has been a thrilling adventure for both of us, wasn't it? Do you remember this desk? Under this microscope, you patiently attached many electrodes onto tiny crystals. Every day. At first, I was shocked when I saw your device. With hard practice, however, you became an expert and you started to take a lot of reliable and interesting data set. This accomplishment will benefit you in whatever you choose to do in future. I know you have an excellent and unique talent. I hope you find something that you are truly passionate about. We are all celebrating.
Hi Mo, or should I say Dr. Atwa. Congratulations on your graduation. Absolutely chuffed for you, 100% you deserve it. All your hard work's paid off. Hope you have a good one. Bye.
Mo is graduating!
The next student, who unfortunately cannot be with us today, is also from Professor Thomas Bush's unit. This is Chris Campbell. He worked on supersymmetry and non-equilibrium quantum dynamics.
Let me introduce Dr. Chris Campbell to you. Chris Campbell came to the Green Island of Okinawa from the Green Island of Ireland, initially as an intern student and later joined my group as a PhD student to work on supersymmetric properties in ultra-cold systems. One of the main challenges in quantum mechanics is the description of many-body systems, especially in out-of-equilibrium situations. Chris took this challenge on and managed to find a way to separate the complex dynamics of quenching processes into different components. This allows for a much deeper understanding of why quantum many-body systems do what they do, and the approach developed by Chris is now used in the PhD project of a new student in my unit. In addition to his achievements in physics, and as many of you know, Chris has also worked hard at OIST with and for the LGBTQ+ community and for efforts to enhance our diversity in general. Chris, congratulations on your hard-earned PhD on making OIST a better place for all of us, and all the best wishes for your future.
Thank you, Chris. And finally, he takes a good photo. Next is Alexandra Bliznina. She was a student of Professor Nick Luscombe, and she looked at Oikoplurodioica populations. It's not often I get to say that word in public.
Hello Sasha, it's Nick here. First of all, congratulations on your PhD. You're the first person out of our lab to graduate and we're very proud of you. Thank you for the time you spent with us and we miss you already. You're at the Sanger now, fantastic institute, in Cambridge, a fantastic city. Postdoc is the best time of your life, so really enjoy it. And we'll be supporting you here, cheering you on from here in Okinawa. But first of all, let's party.
Our next graduate is Dr. Chong Huang. She was a student of Professor Kenji Doya. And she studied applications of multi-agent reinforcement learning.
Today, the reduction of carbon emission through the effective use of reusable energy is very important. And at OIST, we have an experimental facility in each rooftop of the faculty house with the solar panel and lithium-ion battery. But the big issue is how to optimize storage and the exchange of the energy across the local grid network. And Sean decided to apply her expertise in reinforcement learning to that problem. And she studied what is the right level of sharing of information across the houses and the use of right learning algorithms. And that was the topic of her thesis that was awarded this time. We are very happy to see that she could contribute to the society by applying her machine learning expertise for this important problem. Happy to see her acquisition of the PhD. And Sean has been very supportive to our laboratory. She shared a lot of knowledge about interesting papers and interesting useful resources, and also gave us nice sweets for our laboratory tea time. And all the members of our lab appreciate and congratulate your degree acquirement. Okay, so congratulations, John, and then and keep us in touch.
Our next student also cannot be with us, but this is Friederike Metz. Again, in the laboratory of Professor Thomas Busch, she was looking at machine learning applications for the study and control of quantum systems.
Let me introduce Dr. Friederike Metz to you. Friederike decided to join the Quantum Systems Unit on the promise to bring her already advanced knowledge on machine learning to our work on ultra-cold atoms. That this was a successful plan can be seen from the fact that one of her ideas for vortex detection in noisy superfluids has already been adopted by several experimental groups internationally. However, Rike took her work further and decided that she also wanted to contribute to advancing machine learning techniques themselves. For this, she found herself collaborators in Europe and even won the QuizKit hackathon with a team she put together based on her reputation alone. Her work at OIST resulted in 5 peer-reviewed publications, and she's still contributing significantly to our efforts for using quantum computation for many-body quantum mechanics. Rike, congratulations on your highly successful PhD and the outstanding results you have achieved. Your work will be a basis for many future projects in the Quantum Systems Unit, and we are looking forward to learning even more from you in the years to come. Super gemacht.
Next, Zhongyan Huang. He was a student of Professor Hiroki Ishikawa, and he looked at phosphoenol pyruvate regulation of the TH17 transcriptional program.
Congratulations, Xian, on your great achievements during your PhD program. You identified the metabolite PEP as an important regulator of autoimmune T-cell activity. PEP is generated by glycolysis. As we know, glycolysis is essential for generation of autoimmune T-cells, but your discovery reveals that glycolysis can also inhibit excessive inflammatory activity of T-cells via PEP. This surprising finding is very important for future research in immunometabolism. Your finding of the therapeutic potential of PEP against autoimmune diseases is excellent. Your publication in Cell reports demonstrate the high quality of your work. I'm confident that your dedication and skills will bring you great success in your future endeavors. Congratulations once again, Sugyan.
Dr. Yuna Hattori. She worked with Professor Pinaki Chakraborty and she looked at boundary layer flow, flow of air induced by a falling soap film.
Good afternoon. My name is Pinaki Chakraborty and I was Yuna Hattori's PhD advisor. One remarkable trait of Yuna is her adventurous spirit. She joined OIST out of a sense of adventure. Although she did not have a background in fluid mechanics, she happened to take my course on fluids and got interested in the subject. Well, so much so that she decided to pursue her PhD in fluid mechanics. Not only that, even though she previously had little experience with experimental work, she worked on a very challenging experiment concerning a fast flow in a thin layer. It was a daunting task and the road was long and winding, well, very winding. Yet, she persisted and brought the project to a successful completion. I'd also like to give a shout out to my unit members whose enthusiastic participation in this project was immensely helpful. It gives me great pleasure to congratulate Dr. Yuna Hattori, and now that she embarks on new adventures, I wish her the very best and commend to her the wise words of the great American philosopher Yogi Berra, who noted, "When you come to a fork in the road, take it." Ganbatte kudasai.
The next student for award is Stefano Pasquarelli. He is in Zoom land. So hi, Stefano. He worked with Professor Paolo Lorino and he looked at protein sequence, structure and dynamics, as they reveal insights in the divergence of protein functions.
Stefano is my first student and is a brave one. He came for internship at the beginning of 2018, when I have just started my lab. I had only a couple of students and we are mainly experimentalists. Despite this, he joined with a bioinformatics project that merged well with our experimental approaches. He developed a new method to identify functional residues in proteins after gene duplication. Stefano is calm, is approaching any problem, and fully engaged in science. I believe he was also a very important component of the OIST students, with his passion for frisbee, soccer, and go-kart. Stefano has a big heart, always ready to help everybody with science and practical matter. He is also an excellent cook. We will miss him a lot, but I'm sure the future is bright and successful for him. Congratulations, Stefano.
Congratulations, Stefano. Right, the last awardee today is also unfortunately unable to be with us. This is Nadine Verkutis, and she was a student of Jun Tani. She looked at social interaction under the free energy principle, a cognitive robotics approach.
Nadine, congratulations on your graduation. By now, you must have returned to your hometown in Germany and started a new life with your family. To be honest, when we first talked in our office 6 years ago, I thought it would be a bit difficult for you to obtain a PhD in my unit because your background was completely unrelated to what we were doing. However, you worked very hard and published 2 journal papers, leaving behind wonderful research results. In addition, you were able to give birth to and raise two children, Zen and Nabi, while still being a student. You have accomplished so much. It seems that you have started a new job in Germany that is not related to research, but I'm sure you will be succeeding in that field as well. I'm looking forward to seeing you again in future.
So thank you, Professor Bush and President Wagner. This is really the time of the year that I enjoy the most, because I've known all these people for 5 years, or more or less. Some of you work fast. And it's great to have been part of your journey as you have come to OIST, some of you not knowing what you want to do, some of you with a clear idea, but then getting down and finding your path and following it, and you've all done really well, so congratulations. So please join me in congratulating all these students. So while all of these achievements are special, each year we are happy to recognise that at least one of them is more special than the others. So the Peter Groos Doctoral Dissertation Excellence Awards recognises these outstanding theses. I would like to call now on the Provost, Professor Amy Shen, to announce the award winner and to present the award certificate. Amy Shen.
Thank you. And it's a great pleasure for me to present today's Peter Groos Doctoral Dissertation Excellence Award. And just to give everyone a very brief introduction about this award, it was created in 2019, which includes a cash prize of 200,000 Japanese yen, which was donated by our former OIST president, Dr. Peter Groos. And this year's award goes to Dr. Agnieszka Barua. You can sit. So let me just to quickly summarize Agnesh's accomplishment. He received his PhD from at OIST in 2022, and currently he received a very special fellowship from Human Frontier Science Program. Many of you probably know it's in abbreviation. It's called HFSP. And his host institute is based in Switzerland, EPFL. Agnieszka did his, indeed, Agnieszka actually did his out of rotation in my unit in 2017. And at the end, he decided that microfluidics was not exciting or cool enough. So he moved on. And rather, snakes and venoms are a lot more exciting to study. Since then, he has done amazing research at OIST. His thesis is titled The Evolutionary Genetics of Venoms, How Nature Created the Perfect Chemical Weapon. Sounds really cool. And his thesis led to 4 first author publications in many top journals. I would just like to highlight one of them in PNAS. So his article generated many excitement and interests in the scientific community. It was described as a real landmark in the field. It also made the journal cover. It has over 190 news articles reporting this work. And most importantly, for the newer generation, so his work reached 500,000 people on Twitter. So Agnieszka also received 2022 Graduate Student Excellence Award from the Society for Molecular Biology and Evolution.
So it's very exciting because he shared the stage with students from Harvard, Oxford, Princeton, and many other very well-established universities. So Agnieszka showed that students from OIST can compete and stand, as he described, toe-to-toe with his peers, students from the top universities in the world. Congratulations, Agnieszka.
I, in a distant lifetime, also studied snake venoms, so it was good to read his thesis. And it's also maybe fitting at this point to call on the student to give the reply. Coincidentally, actually, believe it or not, coincidentally, we've chosen to be Agnieszka. I would like to now invite the well-awarded Dr. Agnieszka Barua to answer on the student's behalf. Thank you.
Thank you, Harry, for the kind introduction, and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's truly a delight and an honor for me to be standing before you today and delivering this address. However, I must admit, when I was asked to give this speech, I was a bit surprised because firstly, I feel any of my fellow graduates could give this speech, but also I'm not really one for speeches or ceremony. However, OIST is far from typical, and extraordinary circumstances call for extraordinary actions. So while we're gathered here today to celebrate our achievements as graduating students, I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge some aspects of graduate school and OIST that I'm sure are important not only to myself, but also to my fellow graduates. To do that, I'd first like to paint a picture. Picture this: it's a stormy night, and you find yourself lost in the labyrinthine world of academic research, bogged down by experiments, simulation, and writing. You feel overwhelmed, and suddenly a light appears in the darkness. It's your supervisor, armed with years of experience, a steaming mug of coffee, and a pile of papers that they still have to review. This may sound fantastical, but I'm sure this image isn't unfamiliar. Our mentors and supervisors play a vital role in our graduate school journey. They're seasoned travelers who've navigated the treacherous terrain of academia, armed with a wealth of knowledge that they share with us. Grad school is a tough voyage, and a good mentor is like a lighthouse on a foggy night. Their guidance and support provide a beacon of hope, steering us away from the treacherous terrains of self-doubt and confusion. They're the ones who make sure that our compasses are always pointing towards our goals, even when we feel like we're spinning in circles. I, for one, have been truly fortunate to have a string of excellent mentors throughout my life, and that was no different at OIST. I was initially under the guidance of Professor Alexander Mikhev, or as we fondly call him, Sasha. Now, Sasha was incredibly thorough. He taught me the importance of clear and concise communication and the significance of prioritizing reproducibility over flashy results. Now, these are values that I'll take with me throughout my research careers. As I progressed through my PhD, I was really privileged and fortunate to have Professor Vincent Laudette as my supervisor. Now, if you've ever had a conversation with Vincent, you'll know that his enthusiasm for science is nothing short of infectious. He reminded me that regardless where you are in your career, it's essential to maintain a sense of curiosity and wonder about the natural world. Whenever I felt jaded by academia, which I remind you was quite a lot, quite often, a chat with Vincent would reinvigorate my passions and inspire me to persevere. The importance of good mentorship cannot be overstated. It's the support and guidance from our mentors that really fuels our passions and professional growth. Their belief in our potential can truly inspire us, pioneering us to reach new heights. To the junior cohorts here, I hope you can pick up the trend. As you embark on your academic journey, I urge you to seek inspiration before diving into a project. After all, it's much easier to find a project than it is to find inspiration. Now, something else that many of the other speakers have mentioned, something that truly sets OIST apart from other institutes, especially in Japan, is its diversity and multiculturalism. During our time here at OIST, we've had the opportunity to connect and engage with people from different backgrounds, different cultures, and walks of life. It is through these interactions that we've broadened our horizons, expanded our understanding of the world, and have come to appreciate the value of diversity. For it is in our differences that we find strength, and in our shared experiences that we forge the bonds of unity. The nature of the OIST PhD program, with its intense interdisciplinary focus, really taught me the importance to engage in debate and discussion, and not to shy away from challenging the status quo, but rather embrace the exchange of ideas as a catalyst for growth and progress. I've discovered that our differences do not divide us, but rather enrich us, enabling us to collectively develop a more nuanced understanding of the world around us. And most importantly, through many spirited conversations, I realized that no matter if you're from Japan, Romania, Russia, Kazakhstan, Brazil, India, the UK, the US, Colombia, Mexico, Germany, or France, everyone likes going to Grand Lane. So iron shapes iron, and in this context, I feel our diverse encounters have truly shaped our minds and our resolve. For me, it has given me the confidence to voice my thoughts and beliefs and ideas, even when met with opposition. And as we venture into the world, I'm certain my fellow graduates like me have found newfound confidence and conviction, ensuring that our voices continue to be heard and that we remain steadfast in our pursuit of knowledge and understanding. As I mentioned previously, graduate school is tough. It's really easy to get consumed by our academic endeavors and lose sight of the fact that taking care of ourselves physically, emotionally, and mentally is crucial to our success and overall well-being. And in that aspect, I think we're truly fortunate to call OIST our home during our PhDs. The sandy shores, the lush forests, and vibrant coral reefs of Okinawa provide an unrivaled sanctuary to both the weary souls and curious minds alike. In Okinawa, we can strike a perfect balance between intellectual stimulation and mental rejuvenation. It's a place where we can immerse ourselves in our studies while also taking time to recharge and reconnect with the world around us. A walk along the sun-drenched coastline, a hike through the jungles, or responsibly exploring the depths of the ocean. We are reminded that our connection with nature is not only essential for our well-being, but also a source of limitless wonder and knowledge. As we, the graduating class of 2023, embark on our post-PhD journeys, I'm certain that we will keep looking back at our time here and remember all the things we did, all the people we've met, and all the lessons we've learned. As the junior cohorts embark on their academic journey, it is vital that you do not forget the importance of self-care and try to learn as much as you can about your friends, about your topic, and Okinawa. Because no matter where you end up, the spirit of Okinawa and OIST will always be with you. On behalf of my fellow graduates, I would like to thank Japan, Okinawa, and everyone related to OIST for making our time here truly remarkable. Ippe nife debiru, arigatou gozaimashita.
I appear to have forgotten my glasses, but never mind. I think now that brings us to the end of today's proceedings. So, first of all, I would like to thank everybody who has taken part today. It's been a great turnout. It's nice to see you all. Thank you for joining us in celebrating these extraordinary achievements of these amazing young people. I would also like to thank our musicians and our dancers and Sanshin musicians before. So, I wish you the best as you venture into your new life. I urge you all to stay with us as part of our family. I hope we will remain in your thoughts. Please remain in our Alumnus Association. And it's a good way for us to keep in touch with you. And we're now getting a kind of presence of enough mass around the world that there's pretty much always somebody that you went to university with who will be in the same city as you. And come back to see us sometimes. So now the newly graduated students are admitted to the main academic body of the university. So in recognition of this, we would like them to join the academic procession. So please follow the President and the Dean as they depart at the head of the procession, followed by the students, and then the rest of the faculty. So ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the academic procession. Be seated. So thank you very much everybody for joining us today. Thank you to the musicians. There is now a photo opportunity set up outside for those of you who wish to take photos with the graduates whilst they're still wearing their gowns. Thank you to all the staff who made this possible. Thank you for the members of Cabinet and of Okinawa Government who have joined us today, and to all the families, and see you next year.